We're live! Hello there,
Yay!
wake up homeschool parents. Wake up, y'all, wake up!
That's right. We're here to wake you up. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day. As you can see, the lovely Michelle outside with us, joining us from. So yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a great day. Great way to start your week with us here at the Wake Up Homeschool Parents Hangout. We're excited to be here today to talk to you about our topics today. And one of those being what happens when mom and dad don't want to go to school. But before we get into that, as you can see, we have a new person on our panel that we are so excited to have with us. The lovely Michelle Lee. I said she's joining us from outside. So I love and thoughts because it just brings a brightness to the hangout that you can't get any other way. But I want Michelle to take just a few minutes and share with us a little bit about her story, why she's decided to homeschool, and so Michelle, take it away.
Why, thank you. I am so glad and humbled that you ladies have let me join this wonderful session. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have a T5 spinal cord injury. I broke my neck. It'll be 10 years, 4th of July. So I've had to learn to readapt to everything. But since then, I went through divorce. I do have other kids through previous marriage. I remarried. My husband has kids through previous marriage too. Most of them were all grown and gone, went through the public school system, the whole bit. In fact, his last daughter from his previous marriage is 17. She's getting ready to graduate high school on the 22nd, top of her class, so we're so proud of her. But I noticed through her, even like the last 5 years, there's so many things missing from the public school system. And when my husband and I decided to have our own daughter, Jackie, who's now 4 years old, we actually decided a long time ago that we wanted to homeschool her because we saw so many things that we could teach her. We felt more so than what the public school system was doing. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. I've seen the kids go through the mediocre grades and they're having fun and all that kind of stuff. We've seen, again, Brittany, she's doing absolutely wonderful. She's got the book smarts, the straight A's, the 4.6, grade point average, the whole bit. So proud of her. But at the same time, so many things that she hasn't been taught. I mean, even simple things like the imagination, the different things that go along that I find with the homeschooling, there's so much more of that because you tend to tap into the kids' talents, the different things that make them click. You can curve the learning to almost go around what actually makes them learn easier. And I mean, Jackie, from the beginning, we've given her like the little tablets and stuff, and she does absolutely. I mean, she blows my mind the things that she can do with technology and everything else at 4 years old, and the things that she's caught on to. So it so excites me. And then when I saw that you guys were doing all this stuff, I was like, wow, I can actually tap into these other mothers that have actually already been doing it and everything else. And so we're really excited because next year that will be the first, school year that we plan on starting. So we are so excited to be part of this.
See, and the exciting thing, Michelle, is that you already are starting. You're already with the tablet and everything. You're already ready. I'm sure that you're already realizing that education doesn't necessarily start at age 5. It's hi, Jackie. Start born.
You scared me when you said that.
You were expecting to say hi. It's Kimberly. He likes watching you.
I love your videos, Jackie. So yeah, and that's what it's about. It's about the kids. It's about being able to.
I have a new bike.
Sweetheart.
we'll go play, baby, so we can finish this, okay?
You want to see my new
Maybe we can video. So, yes, it's about being able to give our children the best, and for some people that is public school. We're not here to say public school.
Right.
This is what we need to do, and we want to show you how simple it really can be, and that anyone can do it. Anyone has that opportunity and the ability to be able to do it. And so, with that, there are when you school that you decide that you wake up in the morning. I know I'll wake up sometimes. I'll look over at my husband. I'll say, I don't want to go. It's good, doesn't it, Lena? Would you share with us, Lena, just a few ideas and concepts on what your family does when you don't want to go to school today?
Well, hello, y'all. This is Lena. Lena's in the house. Woo! No, I'm just kidding. Well, you know what? Well, number one, just so that this hangout can run just a little bit smoother, when someone is talking, just go ahead and mute your microphone. That way, like, the background noise won't interrupt the person who's talking. Because, like, if you got like noise in the background and stuff, so we're good to go. That way, everybody can hear it really well. Well, you know what? We went through that when we first started homeschooling. Like, the first year was awesome. I was all excited. I really tried to emulate a classroom inside of my own house, and really that's kind of like what a lot of people do when they first start homeschooling. They want to get all the books, they want to get the desks, and even put the chalkboard up and everything. I'm telling you, y'all, I went all out. I got a chalkboard and everything. But as the time went by, I started to see that my children were just getting more and more frustrated, and there was just really no harmony in the home. I was also getting frustrated as well, going through the whole I don't want to do this thing, and eventually I figured out that every homeschool family is different, and you work according to your schedule. That's the beauty of homeschooling. You work according to your lifestyle, your schedule, and how it is that your child learns. If your child is a textbook type of child, you go ahead and you facilitate that. If your child learns by just hands-on, and they just want to sit there and watch YouTube videos all day long about science, you go ahead and you do that. So once my homeschooling routine or my unschooling routine started to come into harmony was when I finally realized that, okay, every homeschool family is different. I don't have to do it like the schools do it. I also don't have to do it the way that all the other homeschool moms are doing it. When you really compare yourself to all the homeschool moms, it almost seems like they have it all together. But that's not the case. Everybody has their own schedule, their own timing. Some homeschoolers, they don't do their work until the evening times, and then some homeschoolers do it early in the morning. It just really depends on your family. So to me personally, like, if you're having a problem waking up in the morning, or you say, I don't want to go to school today, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with how the way that things are flowing in your family, in your life. So you have to really kind of figure that out. Okay, why not? Why is this being a drag? Because really, honestly, learning should not be a drag. My kids, once we ditched the traditional textbooks, at first it was very scary, because you're taught to believe that children don't know what it is that they want to learn, and that you have to sit there and give them all of these things in order for them to learn it. But just like children learn to walk, just like they learn to talk and stuff like that, they learn. They learn every single day. You're always constantly learning. So they pick up their own books. They do their own reading. They do their own writing, and they pick up books that are like, whoa, things that you and I would probably miss reading in our in our lifetime, and they pick up really, really interesting things. So before, when we did not have when I thought that homeschooling should look a certain way, that's when we were struggling to actually homeschool. But when I realized, no, you know, every homeschool family is different. Every family is different. You have to do what it is. You have to go with the flow of your life, or what's happening with your life, and figure these things out. You know, it's good to look at other people and take ideas, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fit into your family. That's the beauty of the homeschooling. That's the freedom of homeschooling that you have. So that's what I have to say about that, Kimberly. I'm really glad that we're on this topic. Hey, Ron, how you doing? I love the fact that we got homeschool dads here. I love it. So, I can't hear you, Kimberly. Are you muted? You're muted, girl. Let me see. Do you know how to unmute yourself? Can't hear her. Ron, what's your take on that are you muted as well? Oh boy, let me find out that this whole entire panel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you at, Ron? Are you
All
there?
right.
Are you in the house? They're so funny. This is Kimberly's husband, y'all.
Hello, everybody. You know, just like you were saying, Evelina, homeschooling it's really cool because we're able to customize our learning for our kids, and be able to, you know, whatever they want to learn about that particular day, you know, that's what we can learn about. You know, with the internet, to do all kinds of things with YouTube and Khan Academy and just lots of different mediums that we can use for teaching our children. You know, I say it again, it's a lot different world than it used to be when our parents were growing up, and even when we were growing up. The internet has opened so many doors, and you know, allows us to live outside the box. And so, you know, we're just really excited. The things that are happening as the technology changes and things we're able to do, and of course, being able to work from home allows us to be able to travel and be able to see things that typically, you know, most children would never even see because they do live in the box. So.
Yeah, that's so true. Did you guys? I mean, I know that you and Kimberly. It's so funny because Kimberly, are you finally able to talk?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, you had to jump off there. I was gonna say something, girl, and then I totally got distracted with the whole popping in and out, popping in and out. So pretty much, that's what I have to say about that. About, you know, struggling when it comes to waking up in the morning and homeschooling your kids, or being responsible in that aspect. I just have to say that you really should kind of reevaluate what it is that you guys are doing and why it's a drag. You know, it really shouldn't be. You know, Kimberly, what you got to say about that, girlfriend?
I got all kinds of bells and whistles going off here. Okay, so yes, and I agree with that totally, Lena, and that's the direction I was going to go, is because for us, you know, when we really had that struggle of I don't want to go to school, it's when we belonged to the virtual academy. And I don't have anything bad to say about them either. They have their place too. But for us, it was time for a change. With it was difficult because of all the structure, if you will, and we had to do so many hours a day, and you had so many lessons you had to do a day, and the kids, you know, some of them they could breeze right through them, and some of them it just got to be too difficult for them. Not that the academia was too difficult, but just the monotony of it all. So when you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to school today, that's when you really need to change up your routine. You need to do something different. So for those in my virtual school, you know, if you love it and you're going along with it, great. But if you have one of those days where you're just like, ugh, I don't want to go to school today. I love unschooling. be like, okay, to school today. We'll do Saturday or whenever. Because what I'm finding now is that education comes up at different times of the day. You don't pick when to really educate your kids. It happens naturally. But for the virtual schoolers, what I was going to say is, that's when you can have an art day and get ahead on some of your art lessons. Have a day where, if there's a subject that your child absolutely loves, have them get ahead on that subject. Have them without, maybe if you're not wanting to do a lot of teaching that day, have them do things that they can do without you having to be the one to teach the lessons. But for schoolers and homeschoolers, it's really nice because, just like last night, for example, we were watching Captain Phillips, I think it was, and the pirates in South Africa that attacked the ship, and it was a real thing that happened, and we had these great discussions with our kids. We had discussions about that pirates do exist today. We had, discussions. There was the nautical things that talked about what the starboard side of the ship meant, and we talked about first aid, what to do when someone goes into shock. Those were such great lessons, and it happened on a Sunday night. It wasn't planned. We were watching a movie as a family, but these things happen. They creep up. The other day, I absolutely loved it. My kids came running in. They're like, "Mom, spider, you kill it!" And so I go out to the side, and I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no! Look at this. This is really cool." This spider was wrapping a fly or something. I'm not sure what she had. But she was wrapping it in her little web and it was just the most amazing thing. I said, watch her, watch what, or him, I don't know. I don't know how to tell different sexes, whatever. But to be able to sit there and do that in the middle of the day, to have that opportunity with your kids is amazing. So many people think that homeschooling, they don't think they can do it, right? They think it's going to be hard. Kids are going to be, just like your kids are going to tell you. They're going to tell you what they want to learn about. Watching that brought on a whole subject of predator and prey. We learned a lot about science. We learned about the web. We learned about different things through our discussion of the spider that day. We didn't plan that. Now, when I was virtual schooling, we wouldn't have taken the time to do that. We wouldn't have had the time. But because they were outside and they noticed something, I mean, yes, it was to come kill the spider, but it took a whole new dimension. But, these are the things that you can do when you're just out living life. When we go to the store, we educate our kids through nutrition labels, pricing. There's so many things. And like Lena said, with personal development, too. Our kids are so involved with personal development. The field trips that you get to go on during the day are amazing. There's so many places that give discounts because they want people to come in during the day because they normally can't, right? Normally kids are in school, parents are at work, and they can't come in during the day. But homeschoolers and work-at-home parents, we get to do that, and so they'll give us discounts to come and grace their establishment, and it's awesome. There's so many advantages to homeschooling and unschooling and road schooling and getting out. I want to touch on something here too, because so many people talk about travel, right? They want to travel, and it's good to plan wonderful trips off into Europe or Mexico and Canada and all over, but what about your backyard? What are some things that you can see and do in your own backyard? So many people miss out. They talk about traveling in the future, but if you don't start traveling now and getting out now, you'll never do it in the future. You got to start experiencing life now. Get out and see, explore, take a hike. I was getting a wild hair. My husband will probably kick me, but because every time we take the kids hiking, when we're done, we're never doing that again. But I was thinking the other day, man, it's beautiful out. We should take the kids hiking, and because there's so much. There's animals, there's creatures, there's the things that you can do when you're out. And, you know, you go on, we think, oh, with a little 3-mile hike, it'll be fun, and about 1.5 miles in, the kids are done. So I think I just need to find a shorter hike. But there's so many things that you can do. You can see there's lakes. You just start checking. I found a book at a yard sale, and it was Phoenix, Arizona day trip. So it's a whole book filled with things that you can do within, you know, driving distance of a day. So you could drive back from different locations in your area, and there's things like that around. I mean, there's Google, for heaven's sake. So if you don't have access to a book like that, you can look it up on Google. We have that lovely feature. You can see what's in my backyard. I bet you'll be amazed at how many different museums there are. Groupon is amazing, and Living Social, those are apps and programs that you can just, even if you don't buy through them, although, you know, why not save some money? They have all kinds of things that you can do in their entertainment section. You know, we have a comic museum that I didn't even know about, and I found out on the Living Social app. So, you know, that's something that we're going to take the kids to at some point. There's all different kinds of things that you can do in your area that you probably aren't aware of. But if you do do a little research, and you will be amazed at what's in your backyard and what you can go do. People will move away, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm so glad I moved because there's all these things I get to do." And when they first moved, but they don't realize there was really all kinds of things to do where they lived before. But I think we get so used to living in a certain area and accustomed to what's right in our own little neighborhood, and we don't branch out just even a little bit to what's available and what's possible. So those are some ideas on what to do. But get out, change your routine. You know, like Lena says, with homeschool, we don't have to choose, you know, we don't have to get up in the morning and do school. We can do school on a Sunday night, watching a movie with the family. We can do school whenever we want to. We have that flexibility. We have to be able to do that. Now, I've taken up a lot of time too, but I wanted to jump into a very important aspect as well, and that aspect is that not only do we school from home. Well, before the next, did you have something you wanted to add to what happens when you don't want to go to school? Your thoughts on that? We'll give her a second to unmute. And mine. That's why I had to log out and log back in. I'm not sure what happened.
She's Michelle. Can you hear us, Mama?
I hear you. Hold on.
Okay.
There she is.
I think I got it.
Okay, there you go.
It's like I have to wait for the screen to finally let me hover over the microphone to let me click it to turn it back on. Oh, my goodness. The wonderful thing of technology, but I absolutely love what Kimberly and Ron had to say. And Kimberly, it is so true, so many things in our own backyards, whether it be physically in your backyard or even just down the street. One of the things that my husband and I kind of pride ourselves in is with my disability, we make it a point on weekends, especially Sundays and Mondays, because those are his 2 days off from his job. But those days, we actually go around and we find places to go within a tri-state area, really, that are
even having a farm.
kind of wheelchair accessible, but not always necessarily wheelchair accessible. So that what you touched on with that is so doable when you just take the time. And so many things are free. I mean, other than the gas to get you from here to there. But we have found, I mean, everything from parks to orchards to battlefields to, I mean, you name it. There's so many things that really are so close, and they're free. And the kids love that time. They love that learning adventure that way. But then they also value, and my thing of it too, and I know everybody, I probably drive everybody nuts on Facebook and everywhere else, because I take 50 gazillion pictures for photo memories.
We love your
So
pictures, Michelle.
thank you. So absolutely, and then the fact of being able to work from home. I mean, that's been our biggest thing, is being able to make it so that the extra income was coming in on our schedules versus the JOB schedule, so that we can actually start to do more. And Kimberly, you know, we're getting ready for a big move. We're moving from West Virginia down to South Carolina. Woohoo! Our forever home, log cabin on 15 acres, and we are so excited. So it just, the possibilities that it opens up. And my biggest thing, I mean, people get such a misconception between the homeschool parents and people who are disabled and different things that, you know, well, you're not having a life, you're not doing this, you can't do that. And it's so the opposite. And I love our industry. I love the fact that the team that we have actually all compiled together are doing this in such a way that we are impacting everyone. I mean, we're getting it out there. People are seeing it, and I pray it makes one more person wake up and say, okay, now, where, how?
I love it. I love it, Michelle. That's right. And you are such an awesome example that you don't let people hold you back. You know, whether it's the spinal cord injury, being a mom of a young child, and choosing to homeschool, choosing to work from home. I mean, you don't let anything stop you. And to me, you are such an inspiration because of that. You just keep going, and you're unstoppable. So I love you, and I'm so glad that you're choosing to homeschool Jackie, because it's going to be such an amazing experience for your whole family. It really is. And you touched on our next topic, which is working from home. And here, to bring in a little outside viewpoint, I looked up an article on Forbes, and it talked about 6 reasons why you should have a work from home. And so one, the very it cuts down on the cost of commutes. Now, for those of you who live in bigger cities, or even out here in Arizona, I mean, people will commute for an hour or 2 a day. So you think about, oh my gosh, that hour or 2 time with your family in commuting, not to mention when you get stuck in traffic and what a nightmare that is, and the cost in gas alone. Just think of how much that would save you if you didn't have to do that every day. So there's your first benefit of working from home. The second is the ability to scale up or scale down quickly. Now, it talks about when you rent or own office space, obviously the size of your business is fixed to the size of the space. So then if for some reason you needed to downsize, you may be tied into a long-term lease or contract. But when you work from home, you can hire, especially with the internet, it's amazing. You can have virtual assistants in other countries even that are helping you out, working with you, or just like Lena is in New Jersey and Michelle's in West Virginia, and yet we're here together. Even my husband is not here at our home with us today. He's out at Starbucks or something somewhere with an internet connection. And so you can gather together and have a business meeting like we're doing right now, just hanging out and having fun. And you can do that right from your Starbucks or wherever. Now, the third one is a huge one for us, and that's the deduction of home costs on your income taxes. The tax benefits alone of having your own home-based business is, amazing. Now, obviously, you can't write off your entire mortgage, but you can write off certain aspects of your mortgage, aspects of proportionate amounts of your utilities, and all. You can a lot with home office expenses. You can carry them forward to future tax years if you don't have enough income to use them up in the current year. They can carry forward to other years. There's so many benefits in this area alone. In mileage, I mean, I'll let my husband touch on that in just a minute, but the mileage alone, oh my gosh, we have such a huge tax deduction with mileage and airfare and all of those kind of things. It's just the tax deductions. You have to have a business. you don't have a business, you're literally just handing money over, throwing it flushing it down the toilet, because it really, you need to pay yourself first. And the way you do that is by paying yourself before you pay Uncle Sam. And that's the benefits of having a business, is you pay yourself first, and then you pay your taxes. You pay your taxes on what's left over, not the other way around. When you have a job, Uncle Sam takes his money first, and then you get paid. So that's a difference. There's flexibility of working hours, just like Lena and I talked about being able to choose when we homeschool. We can also choose when we work our business. Sometimes I work my business at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm not able to sleep, or I wake up with an amazing idea, pull out my phone, pull out my computer, and bada bing, I'm working my business when I choose to. Or if I want to take a day off to do that field trip with my kids, I just do it. I don't have to answer to anybody. I can do that. Working also gives you, this is number 5 on Forbes' list, is reduction in overhead costs. Working from a home-based office keeps your overhead costs low, as you're not renting office space or phones or paying for office utilities. Again, they bring up the commuting costs and all of that. And my slow. Okay, there we go. Number 6, it allows you to test ideas. So we all know this, more than 50% of all new businesses fail. And if you have money out for office space or those fixed costs right off the bat, I've mentioned before that my husband and I have owned brick and mortar businesses, and thousands and thousands of dollars, not to mention the lease contracts, all of those. We happened to be locked into a contract with a cell phone company at one time that was going out of business, but we were locked into contract with them, so no one else would touch it as far as getting to bring somebody else on for us to offer their services. It can be a nightmare. When you're working from home and you have low startup costs, you can test out new ideas, test out the viability of your ideas before investing a lot of money. So awesome. So Forbes says, the bottom line, starting a business from your home allows you many freedoms and flexibilities to grow your business at your own pace, saves money on many fronts, and helps during the often lean startup years. Now, we're a group of people that we chose a business model that has a very low startup cost. In fact, for me and for our family, the startup costs are covered by what we save in services alone. And I'm sure that that's going to be the same with Lena, and what we save totally covers any costs that we had, besides the fact that now our monthly auto ship is free because of the way our business structure and business model works. So still available. I wanted you to touch on before you took off. Give him a second. Well, okay. I don't hear him. So what we've chosen to do is, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep, we got you.
All right. Yeah, just like Kimberly mentioned, the advantages just in tax advantages alone of owning a business. So a lot of people don't touch on this, but with the application that we have available to us and available to you, if you decide to join us, just a quick example. I was just running a report, which is just awesome, with this little app that you can have for your phone. We have just starting to use this in April of this year, which is just last month. We have $51 worth of tax deductions alone. Most of that being mileage. We took a trip when we went to the beach. I don't know if you've ever been to the beach and actually write it off as a business trip, but that's exactly what we did. We went and met with our team, took our kids with us, and so the cool thing is that by having a business, you're able to write a lot of that stuff off that usually you wouldn't be able to as an employee. It's so powerful that actually every 2 miles that you drive, if you don't have a home business, you just throw a dollar bill out the window, because that's exactly what. And so that's why about 20 years ago, I actually I learned about entrepreneurship, and Kimberly and I we've had several businesses, and we've just decided that That's the path we were going to take, and that's the path that we're going to teach our children as well, and allowing to be able to do that. And so I'll turn it back over to you, Kimberly.
Awesome, yeah. I don't know if you heard him right or not. I heard $51, but I have well over several $100s in deductions. I'm not sure if I heard you wrong or what, Ron, but yeah, we have over $700 in deductions in just the last little bit. So, yeah, the tax advantages, and that doesn't include, January, February, March, when we had flights and places that we went to, Miami and such. So those are going to be, we got to sit down and get those figured in.
It was 800 and.
I don't know if you heard him. Oh, awesome.
It was $851.
$851. That sounds better. I was like, I know the last time I looked, it was over 7. I'm not sure. And that's, yeah, in just a short amount of time, and tax deductions from having. And like I mentioned, we don't pay a monthly auto ship with our business, and we do that because we've shared this opportunity with others. With just sharing it with only 3 people, whether we did it ourselves or people that we're working with did it, that enabled us to be able to not have to pay a monthly auto ship. And so that's really exciting. And Sabelina is back with us now. So I want her to share, why did you choose a home? Why does your family work from home, Lena?
Woo! Can you hear me?
Yep, we got it.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened, but whatever. We're back. Why did we choose to homeschool? Or work from home and homeschool? That was your question, right? Why did we choose to work from home? Why not? I mean, it's like it's so obvious. I mean, the tax deductions, the freedom, to be able to be at home and generate an income, and you're able to spend that time with your family. My husband, he does work a full-time job, but his full-time job is pretty much his entire life. It takes up a whole lot of his time. So, because of the whole homeschool thing and whatnot, we wanted to actually take the children on the road and buy an RV and just take off and let them just learn for themselves, you know what I mean, see history right in front of your face. So, but you obviously need an income for that. We tried the traditional business, going out to the hotel meetings, going to people's houses and stuff like that, and that really didn't work for us. The residual income just wasn't coming in. We were selling packages, however, we were only getting little bits and pieces of money here and there. We tried another business that was an online business as well, and that was a really good business. But if you're new and you don't know what you're doing in this industry and you've never sold a thing in your entire life, it's kind of hard, especially when you have to go into the internet and just do a lot of setting up and stuff like that. So it was very difficult. And this